hell was that? He's killing me! He's killing me! It's Drewski McGillicuddy's Dolls Movie Review. Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and it's Halloween. So, happy Halloween! I decided to talk to y'all tonight about a spooky movie from 1987 called Dolls. Now, I always remember seeing the VH cover for this at the video store when I was just a little feller. But for some reason, I don't know. It's such a cool cover, but it never really struck me. So I never bothered to watch it. I never rented it. But a couple years ago, me and the secretary had sat down. I said, hey, have you ever seen Dolls? Because I always remember staring at it, being intrigued, wanting to watch it. But for some reason, like I said, I never rented it. I never watched it. I don't know why. So the other night, we sat down and we watched it. And I decided tonight is going to be the night that I talk to you about pretty much an underrated hidden gem that was right there in the video store, staring us right in the face. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice because I got the sickness. So anyway, Dolls starts out with these two snobby, like terrible actor types. Like they're like the worst. Actually, no, they're not the worst actors in the movie. Actually, I think the first people you see are the worst actors in the movie, and they're these overly posh punk British girls that probably aren't really British. I don't know, but they're terrible. And every scene they're in, they remind me of Tina from Halloween 5. Yeah, they're that bad. They might even be worse than Tina. But then in second place, for second worst, is this family of posh type people with, they're all rich and hoity-toity. But they got this little girl, Judy, and Judy's just, she's just a sweet, innocent girl who happens to be stuck with her dad and her wicked stepmother, and they're going through, I guess, the English countryside? I don't know. Apparently this movie was filmed in Italy. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. So they get stuck in the mud. You ever been stuck in the mud? Happens a lot in the South. You ever heard of getting mud in the tire? If you ever got mud in the tire, you know what that reference is from. Let me know in the comments section down below. But so basically, they don't have posi traction because one tire spins, the other tire does nothing. Okay? So he's kicking the car and telling the car that it's a piece of crap, even though it's not the car's fault, that these roads are just horrible. There's just mud puddles everywhere. The English countryside, it hasn't really been developed yet. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm talking about. So, they're pretty much stranded, and they're just going to spend the night in a car, I guess. But then they realize there's this creepy-ass house off in the distance. So, I mean, what are you going to do? Sleep in a car? No, you're going to go to the creepy-ass house off in the distance. So that's what they do. And there's a scene as they're walking to the house, and for some reason, Judy falls behind, and this Rosemary, who is just a straight bitch-a-rooney-dooney, comes up and she takes Judy's little teddy bear and she throws him off in the bushes. For no reason. Not really, provoked or anything. It's just, she's just a terrible person, in addition to being a terrible actress. Or maybe she's just a really good actress, and this is what the director was going for, because this was directed by Stuart Gordon, the guy that did Reanimator. So, but this does not feel at all like Reanimator or the tone of any other Stuart Gordon movie that I may or may not have seen. But this movie is soaked. It's completely soaked and saturated in atmosphere. And it's perfect for watching on Halloween. So anyway, we get to the house, and the front door is locked, so they sneak in through the basement. And when they come upstairs, they're cut off by Gabriel and Helen, I believe, and they're the owners of the house, and they got them at gunpoint, and they said, "What are you doing here?" And they said, "Well, it's raining, you know, and your front door was locked, and we was standing in the rain, so we had to get out of the rain." So he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, why don't you come up and we'll get you a bowl of soup?" And he tells the little girl, we'll get her a full belly, and then they'll get her something to play with, because he noticed that she doesn't have a dolly. Okay, and we can't have, you know, a little girl running around without a dolly. Okay, but anyway, so they get into the house, and then here's like the most messed up scene in the movie for me. Like, completely messed up, totally unbelievable. They're sitting there eating, right? You know, and they're enjoying the warm food and the nice hospitality of these welcoming strangers. Then all of a sudden, bam! In bust the hitchhikers from earlier, and they just go and straight up help themselves to a ladle full. Probably can't show you the video of what I'm talking about, because I get hit with a copyright claim. I have to delete that F word out so that, you know, I'm advertiser friendly. I don't know anymore. This is getting harder than it has to be. But anyway, so yeah, these people come in and they're like, I mean, there's Ralph, who's just this, you know, he's a sweet guy, and he's very likable. But then you got these two that go with the other two unlikable characters. So you know right away, I mean, obviously, they're cannon fodder, or whatever the hell that word is that people use. But they're basically there to die, and that's why they're written so poorly. They're not meant to be rooted for, because, oh my God, like I said, they're so annoying. Like, even after Gabriel shows everybody to their rooms for the night, because, you know, them being the sweet, hospitable people that they are, they invite the rest of these people to stay the night until the storm passes. Because did I mention there's this horrible storm going on outside, which totally adds to the atmosphere? And then you got the lady talking about how they live here because of the storms, because they were talking about how don't the storms kind of frighten you off, and they're like, no, we love it. We love it when it's constantly lightning and thundering and raining. So back to the annoying people. They go into the room and right away just turn on this stereo and start playing the most god-awful stock 80s punk, pop, whatever the hell kind of music this is. It sounds like something they would have played on Saved by the Bell. Watch me get hit with a copyright strike for that, or claim, or something. I don't know. I don't know how this works. I thought putting that little notice at the beginning of my videos would have said something to these YouTube people that, hey, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, but he's doing the best he can. Cut him some slack. So, these terrible people I was telling you about, after being as annoying as humanly possible, the one girl decides, hey, I bet you they got a lot of old, well, she even questions the old lady. He's like, hey, you got a bunch of antiquities? Don't even know how to fucking call them an antique. But she's like, you got these antiquities? Because I'm going to steal them. She's going to go around, she's going to steal them. But little does she know that the whole time, they've been being watched by all these creepy-ass dolls on the shelf. And that's the thing. Like, before anything even starts happening, this movie's already creeping me out, because it's got these porcelain-faced dolls, and they're very creepy. And then there's even other things that are scarier than the porcelain-faced dolls. It's just like, because wait till you see this Mr. Punch. Because, oh yeah, I guess you already would have seen it if you've been watching the movie. At dinner, he gives her Mr. Punch because he was talking about how she needed a dolly. But instead of giving her a dolly, he gives her Mr. Punch, who's very off-putting and gives me the creeps. But once you find out Mr. Punch's backstory, then it really gets interesting. Which I'm not going to get all into that. I just want to tell you, like, you know, this movie, it's got some horrible acting from only 4 of the actors. But everybody else, like the little girl Judy, gives an amazing performance from a child. And then Gabriel and Helen, is it Helen? Hilda? Whatever. The old people that own the house, their acting is phenomenal. Every word out of Gabriel's mouth, you know, is priceless. It's gold. Stuff starts happening. The little girl starts, like the one hitchhiker, you know, the little girl sees something happen to her, and she goes and tries to wake everybody up and tell them, hey, I just saw this, but it being an 80s movie, and these being adults, you know how adults listen to kids when they say they see something, they don't believe them. So they don't believe her, and they shrug it off. And then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, I guess she wasn't lying. But the funny thing is, this Ralph guy, everybody tries to pin it on him, starts accusing him of being a weirdo, when, you know, he ain't got nothing to do with it. But anyway, I don't want to spoil this movie because I have a feeling a lot of you out there have not seen this, okay? Now, it's nothing like Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween. Like, it's not, like, on that level, but it's definitely solid enough to get a 7 and enough for you to put it in your collection if you can find it for a reasonable price. But it's definitely solid. You should definitely see it, and it's also streaming right now for free, I believe, on Hulu? Shit, I don't know. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this. But yeah, have you seen Dolls? What do you think? Let me know that in the comment section down below. Also, be sure to like this video. It'll help me, get notarized or something. I don't know. Follow me on the socials, and happy Halloween, everybody.